New Orleans Saints.
Who that say they gon' beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gon' beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gon' beat them Saints? Who that?
Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on Tampa, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees on Roger Goodell. Yeah, money like this and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this and I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
The box score looked like it does on their offense. I feel like we had a chance in this game, and so teams battle offensively at the end of the day. We turned the ball over 4 times. We didn't do enough good. We didn't do enough good on offense to give ourselves a chance, and that's the unfortunate part of this thing. And so, we got a lot of stuff to work through and improve and get better at, and that's the journey we get to take. So, yeah, we just need to find a way to create something on offense. It has more to do with the offense collectively. We're just not executing and playing at a high enough standard, and we got to find a way to move the football consistently, protect the football, and score points. And so, this is a pure full offensive evaluation point. We're not there. I think we just got to evaluate this whole thing in the next 48 hours on offense, find the solutions that give us the best chance to win. But Tyler went in there and, he looked the part. He made some plays. The one interception was unfortunate, gave us a chance to convert there. And so, we'll obviously make that evaluation here quickly and make some decisions moving forward. But, this had more to do with the whole offense just not playing well enough and hopefully trying to generate some form of a spark there. Unfortunately, it wasn't able to be done.
Before the season, you would say Rattler's a guy, no need to worry about pulling him or anything like that. But is this maybe a straw that breaks the camel's back as far as today's performance?
This is just, again, this has so much to do with the entire offense. We're not playing well enough. I got to coach better. I got to find the solutions. I'm not doing a good enough job, obviously, and trying to generate a spark. Spencer, I thought, he has done plenty of good through the course of this season when you look at it from a bigger perspective. We didn't move the ball well enough. We created some turnovers in this game, unfortunately, and so we need to find a way to get the thing going. And that's our project, and that's our efforts moving forward, is to find those solutions moving forward with however it looks.
What went into the decision to make the change when you did? Because obviously you came out after halftime and Spencer had that first drive. So was it something that happened on that possession?
Yeah, I just felt like we were close. We just weren't making enough. We weren't getting it going. There was not enough on offense, and so I just felt like I was trying to create a spark, trying to create something that felt a little different, see if it would provide us with the urgency to execute at a higher level and play cleaner football. And there's some little moments in there, some good plays, but not enough collectively.
How do you feel that the change gave you what you were looking for?
Ultimately, we weren't able to really get anything else going. Unfortunately, I thought we moved the ball. There were some spurts where we moved the ball okay, and then unfortunately, we just aren't able to execute over the course of a drive. And so, this is on me. I got to find a better solution here and put ourselves in a better situation to be successful, because we're not there yet. Yeah, it's never easy. Todd and Tampa, they've always done a great job on defense. It's a challenge. Felt like he hung in there. Tyler hung in there. I thought he battled. We'll see how this thing progresses.
What do you feel? You're putting a lot on yourself in the midst of all this with the offense, but what do you feel you should be doing better or different?
Yeah, I got to find the solution so that we can execute at a higher level, be more consistent, and protect the football. And so, we got to be a cleaner football team, in particular on offense. Certainly showed up a lot today, and so that's on me. I got to do a better job of this. We're not there. We're not executing at a high enough level, and so I got to find the components and the pieces, and from a schematic standpoint, that'll allow us to do that.
Why do you think Spencer wasn't able to bounce back from the turnovers he had last week?
The ball security one was just, obviously protecting the football out in space. Guys are coming from in pursuit, and you got to be ready. There's always that guy that's coming from the backside, and that was an unfortunate one. And then the backed up one, I thought the guy made a tremendous play. But again, we got to protect the football, and that's an unfortunate sequence there.
Kellen, have you had a point at any time in your career where you've had this kind of stretch, 8 turnovers in 2 games, and does there become like a snowball effect with turnovers?
Great question. Defenses sometimes create those snowball effects. Unfortunately, we're in that, so the facts are the facts. We're turning the ball over too much, and so, it's fair to view it that way. Has it happened in your career? Obviously, we've all gone through these moments. We got to come out of it a much cleaner, higher, efficient football team, particularly on offense, and so, again, we just didn't do enough winning football.
You've done a pretty good job of not letting the quarterback thing become the story. The other guy looking behind the other, all that's been pretty quiet. Now that the door's open, how do you keep it so it's not a thing that becomes divisive or distracting or anything like that?
Yeah, we'll navigate this thing over the next 48 hours, put ourselves in position to have a good week, get ready to roll. Again, I'm not into flip-flopping quarterbacks and all this sort of stuff. Again, this had just an element of lately not executing high enough football and not playing well enough on offense and trying to create a spark. And so, I'm not into this back and forth game, but we do have to make some decisions here moving forward, really as a whole offense collectively with a lot of positions.
So are you going to pick one or the other, or would there be any sort of competition this week?
Yeah, no, we'll have to make a decision. We have to get the reps allocated properly so someone has a chance to be successful on Sunday.
Kellen, how would you describe the mood in the locker room right now?
Yeah, frustration. Guys are battling. I love this group. This group competes every way. You always talk about the play style and the physicality and the finish, and those components are out there. And so that's the tough part. We just got to play cleaner. We got to play.
Your membership is more than just a card. It's your gateway to extraordinary experiences. With the AAA app.
The consistency in all 3 phases where they can all complement each other. I thought, again, our defense, there were some really good plays in there. They had a drive or two that they kind of got some momentum going, but I thought our guys battled. If you looked at the box score theirs, I'd say, we'd have a heck of a chance in this game, and I thought teams-wise we battled as well. And so there were moments on offense, certainly. There were moments and gave us some momentum at times, but I just got to find the solution that works best for us. I think turnovers obviously make a huge impact on this game. It's popped up. Again, we got to just execute at a higher level, protect the football. There's hard downs in this league. We got to find some solutions there, whether it be third downs, red zone, put ourselves in these challenging situations and come up successfully. And so, again, we'll do this collectively as an offense. I got to lead the way and help these guys and put them in better positions.
It seemed like Denver was extra aggressive touching the ball, is that something that maybe they saw on tape, guys losing the ball?
I think they've always done an excellent job of it. Todd's defense has always attacked the football at a really high level. I do think when you create turnovers, when your offense has turnovers, it's the old they see it in the waters, and they see that there's an opportunity presented there, and the defense sees that it's close, and if we can keep attacking it, odds say based off evidence that's previously happened that we're going to get this football at some point. And so we just got to address it and kind of get ahead of this thing because it's been a couple weeks now. Yeah, I told him what I told you guys. I'm trying to create a spark here. I'm trying to create something on offense. Hang in there. I love Spence. I love Tyler. I love these guys to death. So these are never easy things. They're really, really challenging because I know what these guys put into this thing each and every day. But we're just trying to find a formula that works to our advantage, and we'll continue to address that.
You mentioned that there was concern with the way that the offense was moving or not moving to liking, but there's also been sort of this moniker over the course of the season about 3-pointers and layups. Are you dissatisfied with the amount of layups that are being taken? Do you want to see throughout this whole game?
We got to find explosive plays, absolutely. We got to put ourselves in situations to allow it. Can't be playing from behind where teams can play all this fun blitz and coverage game, and you play in those situations, it's going to be really, really hard to ever get anything downfield. We got to put ourselves in better situations, I think, more than anything. We have a shot downfield and we get a sack at the +40. It's, that second drive of the game, we feel like we're moving the ball, and then, protection issues, and then, we don't get our shot downfield. Now all of a sudden, we're close to getting a field goal. Now we're punting. And so there's just too many opportunities that we're not getting those chances. Yeah, he ran. Yeah, Tyler ran it just fine. Obviously, we're limited more from the circumstance than anything, but Tyler was not limited in any way.
Are you satisfied with the total level of buy-in you're getting from the team? Is everyone still engaged, still in this thing?
Yeah, I love this group. I love the way our guys lead, the way our guys practice each and every week. They battle. I love the effort that we play with. We just got to play some cleaner football and give ourselves a chance to be more successful. And so, there's a lot of little details in the leagues. There's these really small margins in the NFL.
Oh, that's all you have to do.
Margins in those gaps.
Oh. Where the goddamn Ferris wheel's at, Pops?
I don't know.
I hear that.
We'll see. I think the most important thing is
they must be behind that banner you're standing by,
week. And so we'll make those decisions here shortly.
Oh God.
He's a really special person because he handles this as well as anyone possibly can. A lot of guys in this league have to navigate these challenging situations, and he understands that. And so, I have all the respect in the world for how he handled it, how he's operated. Again, there's been plenty of good through the course of this season. Spencer's a really good quarterback in this league. We haven't done enough good collectively as an offense to be successful, and so we got to continue to navigate that.
You're goddamn right.
Yeah, they obviously impact the game. I think we got to play cleaner. Too many of the pre-snaps. Again, there's judgment penalties, and those go 50-50 all the time. The pre-snap,
you got to play cleaner, Pops.
It's
you got to clean it up.
And
you got to clean it up, Pops.
We met our standard, but we slipped a little bit this week.
You got to clean it up, Pops. You know what that means.
Yeah. Incredible performance. And again, we look at the last 2 weeks. We had a really good one in Chicago. We've had some in the past few weeks show up where guys have just done a really good job of battling each and every play. That's what all those match plays. Every play, they take time opportunity. And whether the first quarter always goes forward, our defense did another really good job there. All the way to the fourth down, they finally did it in that second drive. And so, they were competing. They were right there. Our guys executed really well. I thought there's urgency.
All right, let me put the kibosh on. Okay, Kellen. Thanks a lot, Kellen. Thank you, man. Appreciate you. All right, shout out to the fam. Appreciate y'all for being in the live, man. Sorry I wasn't on the live today. A lot of technical issues, man, but a round of applause to you guys. Thank you. Big ups to the fam. Thank y'all for being in this one. Welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports fam. Shout out to you. Also, big ups to Trinity Montoya and James Chapman for the super chats. I wanted to give some acknowledgement to you guys. Thank you for the cash apps. That's what I meant to say, cash apps. Big ups to you guys, man. Of course, this was interesting. Now, it was tech issues today, fam. I wasn't on the call today. Plus, I had some. I'm doing a little traveling anyway, but shout out to you guys. We got Big Q and Pops Q in the building. Big ups to the fam. Appreciate y'all all for being in the stream, man. Y'all do us a service. By hit the like button, man. There's nothing to like here except for the consistency of the mighty Who Dat Nation that continues to show up and support a team that is not accountable. Pops, I don't want you to chime in, but this is not accountable, man. When guys are driving, I've said it before and I'll continue to say it again. If you want to turn around a bad football team, and this is just looking at experience, like when you watch all these other teams, to turn around a bad football team, you have to have accountability. Guys, if they dropping passes and missing blocks and all this kind of stuff, they cannot see the field. I don't care who they are. I don't care if they're Juwan Johnson, Chris Olave. I don't care who they are. If guys are hurting the team, getting penalties, it happened with Devon Godchaux. He had a penalty that helped the offense convert a penalty, get them a first down off our penalty, and he was out there the next play, the same play. That's not accountable, man. No. And then of course you look at the players. The veterans are supposed to be the leaders of the team, but there are no veteran-only meetings or no only player-only meetings to stop this slide from happening. And I've said it before, and I warned you guys, The Saints have been infected by the last 4 years of funk and losers, and you got a bunch of check collecting guys that don't want to hold each other accountable. They're too busy patting each other on the shoulder when they need to be kicking each other in their rear sides. That's what I'm talking about. But, Bob, I'm going to give you a chance. Let me hear from Spencer Rattler. He was benched today because of horrible play. You know, Spencer just didn't look good. Let's see what he had to say.
You know, he got his hand on it. It was good play by him. Try to move on after that one. That was tough. But, you know, thought we were going to respond and, you know, try to bounce back from that.
What do you think overall has been the main theme of the turnover struggles with the last couple of weeks?
Last 2 weeks, you know, I think last week I started pressing. I don't feel like I pressed at all this game. I think got careless with keeping it high and tight on that first drive on the run. Would have had a great run there. And then I think the tip pick was unfortunate. So, yeah.
Man.
No, I knew I wanted to play a cleaner game. Wasn't happy with the fumble, obviously, the first drive, but try to respond in the right way. I think as a group, we just, you know, starts with me. We got to just execute better, see things better. Credit to their defense. They did a lot of great things. Knew they were going to give us a lot of different looks, which they did. But no, I don't feel like I put too much pressure on myself. I just, you know, had to control those moments and tuck the ball tighter, literally.
For your guys' drives across midfield, like, what are you seeing kind of that's in the season long thing of not being able to convert things the way you guys want to? Was there anything you're seeing today?
Yeah, I mean, we were converting on third down well. You know, our numbers were okay in the first half. You know, they brought some good pressures. We had the right answers versus a good amount of them. You know, could have got the ball out maybe quicker on some checkdowns when we crossed that 50-yard line. We knew that was a high-pressure area. You know, a couple missed ops, but got to watch the tape and see what happened when we crossed the 50 because it seems like we couldn't really get anything going once we passed that 50. So we got to watch the tape, figure that out.
What's next? Like, how do you handle this week?
I mean, I just go at it the same way. You know, it's part of the game. I've been through adversity before. I'm going to be a good teammate, have good body language, still be a leader. You know, so I just got to show up to work, keep a smile on my face, keep working. And, you know, you can only control what you can. I've said that before. So control what I can and keep attacking the same way.
Were you surprised with the decision?
A little bit, but, you know, hey, no bad feelings at all with Kellen.
Nah, ain't no surprise,
That's
Spencer,
my
man.
guy. He's awesome. He's been awesome all
bro.
year. And, you know, we haven't really gotten anything
turnovers,
going
man,
on
and-
offense, you know, the last 2 weeks. So, you know, hey, understood. Just got to show back up and figure out what we need to get better at.
All right, and I hate to cut Spencer Rattler short right there, man, but I mean, yeah, it's no surprise, Spencer. You know, let maybe these other people will tell you some BS, bro, but there was no surprise. I mean, actually, I'm gonna pull that back. It was a surprise because I thought they were going to do that to him last week, but they actually gave him an extra opportunity after halftime to get something going, and it didn't end up well. So, no, really. In the the microcosm of everything, I think they handled it pretty fair with Spencer Rattler on the call. Now, there were drop passes. There are always drop passes by the usual guys. You know, Pops, there's always drop passes. And all this love that goes around, it just doesn't show up in production. You heard what Kellen Moore just said about loving these players, but these players obviously don't love them enough to really go out there and work harder to get a win, to compete and make catches, to make blocks, to do the things that fundamentally speaking, that we just don't do well time and time again. The only thing I have, Pops, to say, if Kellen Moore really wants to fix the Saints, and he really can fix the Saints if he has the proper temperament. He doesn't have to cuss and spit fire out of his throat and all this kind of stuff to get at him. All he has to do is bench the guys that aren't doing what they're supposed to do. But to do that, he has to be real by looking at the tape and seeing that guys are coming through that offensive line like a sieve. Guys are still dropping passes. Guys are not blocking when running plays are happening. Like it was a play when I seen Rashid Shaheed, Chris Olave, I think it was Chris Olave, y'all, or Elvin Kamara, I forget, y'all correct me in the chat, where there's a pass out in the flat. And, you know, it's a pass out. Actually, it's a check down throw down the line of scrimmage, setting up like a little wide receiver screen, so a screen in which Rashid Shaheed was supposed to block a cornerback, and Rashid Shaheed is pity patting with the dude as opposed to blocking him, So it's like at some point you're gonna have to take these guys out of here who don't want to play the game the way we need them to play to win. Missing blocks and all this kind of stuff. The offense was putrid today. The defense did what it tried to do. The defense did as much as they could do. I can't flame the defense. This was an offensive just out of array. Pops, and the question I asked the mighty Who Dat Nation, the Great Saint Think Tank, y'all please answer this in the chat for me. As the Who Dat Nation, the Great Saint Think Tank, the most intelligent in the business, y'all tell me this. Y'all answer this question. How do the Saints go week after week? Week after week. You heard Kellen Moore stand up there and say they're having good practices. This dude sounds exactly like Dennis Allen. I'm sorry to kind of bring that ugly possum face spirit into the show, but the reality is, how do they go week to week, go through a full week of practices, and this is what they're putting out there offensively speaking? Guys not knowing what they're doing. Guys can't block. Guys can't set up screens properly. They don't do anything well enough to have an impact on the game offensively. So my question is, how are they able to go every week and have these practices and show up in this game and they couldn't do a damn thing? They couldn't do a damn thing. How are they this bad? And they're practicing week after week. How are they that bad? I just don't get it. But Pops, I'm sorry. What do you thought about today's game? People are saying in the chat that Brian Kelly is fired. I didn't get that alert, fam. I know that I've been monitoring that situation. I know that Coach Kelly, the LSU coach, y'all know that's also our squad, who's also stinking up the joint. Boy, we can't get no quarter here. Right now. I didn't get the news. Maybe y'all got a little head from last check I got. It was in a standoff as a disagreement over coaching staffs, that they're demanding that he either fires some of these people that he has or be fired. That's the last thing I heard. Now, if y'all heard something, LSU fired him, Brother Patrick. I didn't get that alert. Anyway, I'm gonna keep looking. But anyway, Pops, I'm sorry. What are your thoughts on what happened in the matchup, and kind of explain to us why the Saints lost this game today?
Well, turnovers and bad execution of the plays that the coaches will issue. The coaches put them in the right position, but these players are not executing the plays like they should. The ball is coming out too late. That causes problems because the quarterback's getting sacked. The boy got to run. The offensive line is like a flower sieve. It doesn't stop anybody. They can't stop a run block. We have no run. We don't have a running game. I watched part of the Falcons game, and Miami was Miami had only won one game too. But the big difference between Miami and the Saints that they ran the hell out that football. And they ran that football to the tune of like 200-something yards on Atlanta. And Atlanta's supposed to have a first-rate defense. You see what I'm saying? And they ran through them and they passed through them, and the final score I think was 34-3 or 10 or something. I don't think Atlanta got a touch. They did get one touchdown, so it was like 34-10, I think. That's the way it ended up. But they looked pathetic. They really did. And they had Kirk Cousins at quarterback. Their line didn't protect him either. Every time you look around, he couldn't get the ball out. Same with Rattler. Tampa, they were beating the Saints offensive line with 4 down linemen, with 4 rushers. They didn't have to run the blitz. They had 4 rushers for the most of to put pressure on Rattler. And Rattler just panics. He's not steady. I don't know what's going on with him. He's not steady. You got to be steady before he makes a decision. Then sometimes he holds the ball too long before he does his check down. Well, that gives the defense a time to respond. He can't find nobody downfield, so I better get on this check down to make sure he don't pick up too much yards. I see that happen time and time again with them. And when they do go downfield, they overthrowing the quarterback. I mean the wide receivers, or they underthrowing them. I've seen a lot of that's how they get the picks. You know, they overthrowing or underthrowing these receivers, and then drop passes. Olave's supposed to be our key guy, dropping the ball. You can't do that. Jawan Johnson, he's a pass dropping tight end. You know, he had a good pass that could have helped us. He dropped the ball. So I mean, we got to find some people who's serious about winning to come in here and run this program. I say they need an experienced quarterback to come in here and settle these young guys down and teach them. We don't have no experience at the quarterback position. I don't care how long Rattler been the starter. He doesn't have the experience that a seasoned quarterback like Baker Mayfield did. Baker Mayfield, he dinked and dunked his way to a victory. And the Saints were playing from behind since that first offensive set when they turned the ball over. They was moving the ball pretty good, and all of a sudden turnover. Spencer knows that he has to tuck that ball. You know that's what the defense is gonna do. They're gonna pull at that ball. So you have to tuck that ball. He running around there with the ball under his arm. Guy reached in there, punched it out, and it caused the turnover. And had he tucked that ball in before he got in contact with that defensive guy, then there would have been a first down because he had enough yardage. But he fumbled when he got hit. He fumbled the ball because he had the ball out. Just like one time he was running the ball in one of the games. He was running the football with like toting a loaf of bread or toting a potato sack or toting a piece of potato or a sandwich or whatever. And the guy just knocked it right out of his hand. I think it was the Chicago game that happened then. So this guy's a turnover machine. We got to stop the turnovers. The turnovers is what kills us. And then the other thing, the jumping off sides, the holding penalty. It's an undisciplined football team. And Kellen Moore, like I said, he too nice a guy. You gotta shackle these guys. Now these guys are used to playing this losing football, and they're used to it. They don't have no motivation. The defense played a much better game than I've seen them play in that first half that I ever seen them play. I was really proud of them because they stopped Tampa twice on right on the goal line. They tried to run the ball in, and they stopped them. Twice in a row they stopped them. I think the third time they was able to score on them. And that was, I think, as a result of a turnover. So the guys don't get rest. You have to have a running game. They're not using Alvin Kamara right. Send him out in the field. Send him out there. Put him in the receiving pattern, and make the defense think about where he is. You got a playmaker in Alvin Kamara. You have to make sure you get him the ball, and you want to run some simple plays. It's time to get away from the simple plays because teams figure you out. You're gonna run this play. They can look at you and run you. He's gonna run this play or run that play, and then next thing you know, they stop it. They've been stopping them. So you get a few yards, then 2 yards, a cloud of dust, you got to punt the ball back. Come on. That's not winning football. That's not winning football.
Yeah, Pops. You're absolutely right, man. Shout out to y'all, man. Appreciate y'all. Uncle Paulie, Cartel, bro. Good to see y'all, man. Linda, what's up, Linda? Who Dat Chasing? Much love. M. Native Saint 2005, Sofa King the Great. Big up to you. What's up? JP, what's up, my brother? Shout out to my dog, JP. Bastion, what's up, Bastion? Shout out to you. Uptown Stud, Kelvin Nellis, 7964. Big ups to you, man. Good to see y'all in the stream, man. P-Mac, what's up, bro? Shout out to you as well. Good to see everything. What's up, Josh? Big ups, man. Much love to all y'all. And this is the thing. What's up, Cam? This is a lot of stuff, man. What's up, Tragic? Shout out to Tragic, man. Mall, everybody, man. It's just I just give so much respect to the mighty Who Dat Nation, man, because this is nothing new, man. We've been dealing with this stank and this funk for a while. We for the last 4 years, Pops. Mickey Loomis had an interview I did a reaction to, and it was just a classic case of a guy who has no accountability. His team has no accountability. You do not, if you want to set a culture, and Kellen Moore starting out very bad. I mean, if he's trying to teach them or create a floor in which they're supposed to use this year as a springboard for next year, because obviously the Saints, I was saying it was over with at 1-5. They don't have, because you can see it in your team. You can see it in your team. You can see if your team has the ability to be able to fight its way back into something, like they have that spirit. Like, even though we're not perfect, you're not going to outgut us. You're not going to outperform us, And for the most, and what I see the Saints don't have, there used to be players that used to tell people the truth regardless if they wanted to hear it or not. If you're a veteran player, you're supposed to have earned that right to be able to get on these people. But the veterans, I guess the veterans can't really do anything because they're the ones screwing up. It's the veterans that are dropping passes. Chris Olave wants a contract, and Chris Olave's not consistent though, and it's not just on the players. A lot of it stems to the coaches because the players are a direct reflection of what the coaches are producing. If they weren't, then they would not play them, and they shouldn't play them because they're not doing what they're supposed to do. They constantly roll out repeat offenders. And what I mean by that, constant mistake makers on film, guys that are repeatedly and constant offenders making mistakes on film, whether they're not blocked, they're missing out on blocks, they're dropping passes. Juwan Johnson dropped the 4th down ball. It's just, I just don't really like what I'm seeing. I think they're giving the money to the wrong people. I think Juwan Johnson should be in the trade discussion. There was rumors, Pops, I don't know if you heard and seen the rumors about the potential trades that involves Rashid Shaheed. This was something that came out by ESPN. Yeah, I know, fam. I know I just showed the report about Kelly. Yeah, Kelly didn't want to give up his staff. He was trying to keep some of his staff, and they said, get your ass out of here. And they got to settle one. So, yeah, Frank Wilson will serve as the interim for the rest of the season. And listen, y'all know I'm a LSU guy. I'm good with that. What's up, T-Mama? Shout out to the queen, man. Shout out to the queens out there, man. Appreciate y'all so much, man. And listen, I'm what's up, Debbie? Shout out to Debbie. I'm upset, man. I am upset. I really am, man. I'm upset, and I'm holding it together because I don't want to blow a gasket. I blew a gasket on the previous show because, to me, what I seen, the kind of football the Saints played today, offensively speaking, was just egregious. It was just awful. I mean, they couldn't do anything. I mean, and the reality is, what is it just that these other teams are so radically better than the Saints? And you look at it, you see that, because I don't want to take nothing away from Tampa Bay. Credit to Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay did what they were supposed to do to win this game. They were opportunistic. They had their hands in it. And the Saints are just not smart enough. They're not. They practice all the time, and they're getting worse and worse. There is no leadership on this team from a veteran level that is getting upset and going at these guys. I mean, I've asked about when you are 1-2 or 1-3, 1-4, the bell's supposed to go on. He's supposed to say, let's have a players only meeting. We got to get this straight. Veterans or whoever, the leaders, supposed to come together and say, hey, man, we need to do this, that, and the third. The assistant coaches are supposed to also control what's going out on the field. And if guys are doing all this wrong stuff, they should not have the right to play. That's not what I'm saying. These passes or these play calls are stupid. When they pulled Spencer Rattler out there because he turned the ball over twice. This guy, he had a bad fumble, which he was just scrambling, and then it didn't secure the ball properly. The guy punched it out. They work on that all the time. They got these fumble drills. When you leave the pocket, you become a runner. Your main objective is to protect the football. He didn't do that. He gave the ball up. That killed the promising drive because I believe that they were marching to do something, whether it was kick or get some points or touchdown, whatever. And then, of course, the throw. With his back against the end zone, try to throw the ball over the guy. Guy jumps up, bat the ball, catches the ball, then shoulders his ass to the ground and goes for the end. So that's a pick six. So a fumble in the pick six is not going to cut it, man. That's not going to cut it. So Tyler Shough comes in the game, has some moves, some few plays. He didn't look totally comfortable in there because they kind of threw him in there willy-nilly. I think he'll look a little bit better when he had a full week of preparation to kind of play. But there is no playoffs this year for the Saints. The Saints were dead in the water when they hit 1-4. This team doesn't have the temperament to do anything. They're still sitting up there making excuses and talking about doing all this stuff. No, I miss the days of the players would get upset and really just blow out and curse out these players, because this is disrespectful. They're collecting these checks. The checks ain't late, but they don't catch the ball. They don't block. And it's a team that they're not getting the proper leadership, man. That's what I'm seeing is that it's just they're not getting any leadership and people getting on them, like demanding, hey, either you do this or I will bench you. There is nothing in your goddamn contract saying that we have to keep playing you. Trevor Penning, who had multiple penalties today, he had a tough assignment up against Vita Vea, but still at the same time, man, you're NFL lineman. You got to handle your business. So I mean, like I said, man, it's just one of those things. So they have they did make a decision saying that Rashid Shaheed is they interested in trading Rashid Shaheed. They're supposed to be in negotiation with Chris Olave for an extension, but the sources say that they'll receive a 3rd round pick in a trade involving Rashid Shaheed. They won't give him up. They also said Brandon Cooks is they looking for him to be traded. So he looking to get on up out of here. So why is he here? See, that's the type of dumb stuff that I'm saying. Why you brought Brandon Cooks in here? We was asking this question the whole time. Could not get the man fitted in offense. Got him running around on plays where he obviously is a liability. He can't block. He don't even try to block. But all of a sudden, now it's trade situation. Juwan Johnson should have never got the $10 million. Can we trade him? Can we trade Pete Werner? Some of these guys have to go. If we got to trade DeMario and Cam, I'm good with that too. Because, they'll be, whether they traded them or not, they'll still be Saint for life guys. They'll come back and, and with all this other kind of stuff. I don't care about that right now. All I care about is the fact that this team is a bum team. That this is the 5th straight season of losing. And they're going to try to forget about the last 4 years under Dennis Allen. And when that's not going to cut it. Our memory is a lot longer than that. You can't ask for more time to be patient when we gave you 4 years. And now you got this year's worst, by far the worst of all the years. So it is Kellen Moore. I like Kellen Moore as a coach, but Kellen Moore is not going to win any games with the Saints unless he gets tougher in his temperament. This week, I love everybody. Big, wide, 1,000 teeth in your mouth ass smile is not going to cut it with these players, and you're telling them they love you, and these guys are not even showing up for you. They saying, yeah, we love Kellen Moore, but they don't love Kellen Moore to go out there and catch the ball for him in tough situations, to go out and make blocks in tough situations, to come up with the play, to make the tackles, to block on special teams, to do the stuff necessary to win. So don't miss me with the love and all this bullshit. Prove it to me by handling your business that you're getting paid to do. And none of that's happening. You don't hear Cam Jordan, you don't hear DeMario Davis, all these dudes up in here. None of them, they quiet as church mice because some of these guys are the main offenders of why the team stinks. The veterans have failed the Saints this year. It wasn't the young players. They're going to sit up here and talk about the young people and the Saints, all this kind of stuff. These young people were out there making plays to the best of their ability. It's the veterans that failed the Saints. It's the DeMarios, the Cams, the Chris Olaves, the stupid, garbage-ass, weak-ass Juwan Johnson, all these type of players. These players have failed the Saints repeatedly this year, and it's an insult. All right, shout out to you, Brent. Thank you. We're going to go over the stats, man. I want to hear what you guys got to say in the chat. Brent says more turnovers than points. Oh, yeah, man, that's absolutely horrible, bro, and that's a real talking point. Thank you for that, Brent. Thank you, man.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Aha. Aha.
Aha, that's a point. That's a point. That's a great point right there by Brent. Thank you, Brent. Appreciate you, man, for that. And he also drops, he says, we need a Ray Lewis. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you for that as well.
Yes, we do.
Much love for that. So, yeah, man, it's interesting, man, to say the least, man. But it just sucks, man. But yeah, this is a done deal, Pops. And I tell you, boy, what's up with our sports, Pops? What's going on with our sports? The Saints stink. LSU got just destroyed and annihilated in Death Valley by Texas A&M last night. They fired Brian Kelly. He's out of here. And then the Pelicans are 0-2. Pelicans 0-2.
I watched that, and they lost that game in the last few minutes.
That ain't a bad idea.
They played pretty good. They led most of the game. I mean, they were making good plays. And then what his name is, Emisi. Emisi got hurt.
Emisi, yeah.
Yeah, Emisi. He got hurt. I think after he got hurt, then they kind of lost it in the tail end because Emisi got hurt like in the third quarter, if I'm not mistaken. And
he back, Pops. He back.
But he didn't play in the San Antonio game.
No, he there was a report that I got today that said that that he and Carlo Makovic are healthy. That they went through a full practice. So the injury, he's not. Yeah, so that's good news. To get him back. But yeah, that's something else. But yeah, it is that is. I'm thinking from this point, and it's kind of redundant for me to kind of ask the question: is we got the Rams coming up next, right, Pops? The Saints are where? Where are we? We're 1-7.
1-7.
Are we 1-7? Possibly one. The team is 1-7. They're 1-4 in the dome. That's just horrible. That's terrible. That they're 1-4 in the dome right now.
Yes.
And what happens here? We have a fire sale and get rid of all of these guys. Would you give Chris Olave an extension, Pops? Let me ask you this: Would you give Chris Olave an extension, or would you trade Rashid Shaheed? He didn't look good at all today, by the way. But how would you handle the situation with some of these guys that are still on the team to accrue more picks? Would you trade assets like Olave? Would you extend Chris Olave or Rashid Shaheed? How would you? What do you think? Your thoughts on that players? Because we're approaching the trade deadline, and those names are red hot names. Brandon Cooks as well.
Well, Cooks is basically a camp body, or on the team. I mean, he don't make very many catches. They don't throw him the ball enough. I don't know what kind of plays they call, but the plays they call in, the team can't execute those plays. I believe that it may be time to get rid of Olave because he's not what we're looking for. He's not the deep threat that we need. Well, Shaheed has he's a pretty fast kid. If we can get somebody to get him the darn ball. If they can get him the ball, I think he's pretty fast. They got to get him the ball. The guy, Rattler, you overthrow him, and Shough threw a pass out there, but he just got in there, so he was green. He couldn't do it. It's really, like I said, I wouldn't be extending Olave a contract because he hasn't earned it. The Saints need to force these guys to earn their money. They're not earning the money that they're just waiting on to collect the check. I think they pay them after the game over with, a Wednesday or something.
Yeah, they get a direct deposit after every game.
That's what I'm saying, and they don't need to return that money back to Miss Benson. Get that money back, especially
get it back to the Who Dat Nation.
Yes, give it back to put it in charity because they're not earning that money. I mean, the like I said, the quarterback coach, I don't know who he is. They can come up with some ways to help this kid. I mean, you gotta have a running game. I mean, I watch Miami, but they had a couple of little running backs on it that ran the pants off the Atlanta Falcons, ran them out their own stadium, big beautiful stadium there too. They got over there. They ran them right out of it, 34-10. They beat them 34-10. So. I'm just like I said, I don't know. I don't like the direction the team is going in right now because I am tired of the losing. I sit here, you and I, we sit here and all listen to Who Dat Nation. We all sit here, watch the same. There's no variety. Mix the plays up some. Do some different things. Instead of the same plays that people have figured this team out. We don't have a quarterback like Drew Brees used to be. See, Drew was improvising, and he got the ball out quickly. Maybe they need to bring Drew in and let Drew work with these quarterbacks. Pay the man. Let him come in here and work with. He's a Super Bowl winning quarterback. We need some experienced people, an experienced quarterback to teach these young guys how to quarterback in the NFL without turning the ball over. You can't run the ball and with the ball out like a loaf of bread, squeezing on it, and then the guy coming there, and you're going down. That's when you're supposed to tuck that ball to you. So when you do get on the ground, or before you hit the ground, he can't punch it out from you. But Spencer had that ball in one hand, the man eased in there and knocked it out. Before his body hit the ground, the ball was out. We can't do that. You can't win like that. You get up there and say, we gotta execute better. We gotta keep on trying.
Same old stuff every week, though. That's the crazy part about it. So it's so distasteful and disrespectful to stand up there with that half-ass nonsense, Pops. You know what I'm saying? They get up there and they say the same thing. Oh, we got to clean it up. We got to do. I mean, I thought that's what you were doing at practice, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, man. Didn't you say this same thing? Yeah, I know. I said that. So what are you doing? What are you doing? Maybe you need to change up who you have coaching these players. They're not getting it. They're not serious. They're not serious about winning, Pop. They're not. They can't. Because it ain't that far. It ain't like you have to go over the entire planet to go and find out what's happening. Everything's happening right there in that building.
Yep.
Whether it's either one or two things. Either it's the coaches or the players or both. And it's your job as the head coach to play Inspect the Gadget and find out who's the problem and what's going on. You need to do an evaluation on your team. And this is the part of the game which would save him a lot of work. How you fix errors and issues that's going on, you got to do evaluation.
Yep.
After all of these games, there have to be notes of who's missing tackles, who's blowing blocks, and what's going on. And you can't tell me that they're not doing that in the actual practices. You practice like you play like you practice. So if you can't tell me, Kellen Moore, Mr. Tifus, that all of this stuff that you see going on in practice is not what's going on the field. Whatever they're doing in practice is what they're doing out here in the football game. So, I mean, that's the thing with him. If you really want to fix it, then you know where you got to look at. You got to evaluate those coaches. The coaches, I would start with the offensive line coach. For real, I would start there because I don't like how the offensive line is playing, especially internally. They tell us that they're watching tape. The All 22 is the same film that they're looking at. We see it shows on there on the All 22, Pop. It shows the offenders and the repeat offenders.
Yeah,
it's always these inside guys. Now, Bastion asked me about how the backup center did today. I think the backup center Luke Fortner did okay to me. I thought he did okay today.
Yeah,
Fortner did okay today. I'm just going to be honest with you. He did okay today based on what I seen from him. It was okay. Wasn't nothing blowing it out the building, but he did okay, bro. But I still see problems everywhere. It's like when you move beyond the offensive line, it's a commitment to blocking. Like guys don't have the same commitment. Guys don't put lean into it. You see guys like they ran a screen where Elvin got behind a wall of Saints blockers. Some kind of way the Tampa Bay guys were able to penetrate the wall, get back there, and stifle the play. I think he got like 6 or 7 yards. But if it was ran correctly, he could have scored a touchdown there. So I don't understand why they have so many issues knowing who they're going to block and committing to blocking. I would start there because if those guys are doing that in practice, they shouldn't be playing. They shouldn't be playing because you don't know what you're doing. You don't need to be on the field if you don't know what you're doing.
Yep.
So are they serious about fixing this, man? Because what Loomis is not going to spend, he's going to go into a timeline and says, well, we don't have the players to win right now. He said that in the last interview and that he's good at 1-6. And I just said, I don't want to use a strong word for Mickey Loomis, but I despise Mickey Loomis. Let's just be honest. I despise Mickey Loomis. I don't like him. He's petulant. He's ignorant. He's stupid. He's blind. And I really think that he has a touch of dementia, for real, Pops. I think the guy got dementia. And I just really tired of him. I just want him to go far away somewhere, preferably to an edge of a volcano with a platform that's not too good. I want him to just go well away to a cannon somewhere, somebody aiming at the moon. I mean, somewhere where they got craters at and there's known accidents of things that fall from the sky in this particular area. Just go over there and vacation there. Get you one of them long beach seats that you can sit there and just wait for the sky to bless you. All I can say is I'm just tired of what I'm seeing from him because these people have no accountability. They're not going to put any pressure on these guys in this team. You need pressure to develop diamonds. We don't have no pressure in this building. There is nobody bringing the pressure. They're talking this nice talk because these suckers are banking out and making money off the team, and they know they bad, and they're not giving a full effort, and they're not going all out, and that's because they're getting paid. That needs to stop. So I mean, I am just tired of Mickey Loomis and this bullshit. There is no pressure, fam. You need pressure to produce diamonds. The Saints don't have any pressure except for what me and you putting on them. Nobody else expects them to do a damn thing. Not even these dogs. If they really believed that they were really as good as they say they are, they wouldn't come out here and produce 3 points on offense and sit up here and walk up to the microphone and tell you, yeah, we just got to clean it up. I got to execute better. Don't tell me that. You told me that last week and the week before that and the week before that. Yeah. You say the same thing every week, bro. Mm. You don't mean what you say, because if you did, you would keep it real, bro. Stop appreciating to losers who are dropping the football and say, hey man, you got to point people out. All this stuff. We ain't gonna point each other out. No. Y'all, there needs to be some pointing out happening here because guys are not doing their jobs. Go ahead, Pops.
I'm thinking because I mean, if you don't drop a pass and then there's nobody around you. Oh yeah, if the pass for Juwan Johnson wasn't that long, and it was a fourth down play. He could have converted that fourth down. He's got the hands to do it, and he turned around. He just dropped the ball. He just quit on the play, and he's not the only one. Olabi, all these guys are dropping passes. You have to make those complicated catches. That's what you get paid for. You can't just run, and you're trying to go for the ball, and the defensive man trying to go for the ball. You make sure you try to get it. Don't let him get it, And then, but if we had a quarterback that could lead our receiver, somebody's got a strong enough arm, and the guy get 5 yards behind the defender, that's supposed to be quick 6. That's supposed to be a touchdown. Overthrew the ball. And they never went back to the play again or never tried to go downfield. They too vanilla in their plays. And their offensive plays, they're too vanilla. The teams have figured them out. That's one reason why we down where we are with only one win. And only when we got that team that we played was worse than us. They turned the ball over 4 times. So they're worse than us. That's how we almost lucked up on that win.
Yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Pops. I mean, this is tough sledding, man, for anybody to deal with, man. Because it's just when you look at them, it's systematic, fam. I mean, for them to turn it for us realistically, and I'm gonna just tell the family members, don't get your hopes high in the future until these people show you something. Like I've been on a show me thing for some years now, because they give you this hype job about all the stuff that's got going on, and then the team consistently underperforms because the culture is not a winning culture anymore. Kellen Moore, if you're coming into a losing situation, you can't come in here with all nice. You got to come here with a hammer. I got upset, what was that, last week's stream when we played Demario Davis, and every time Demario Davis get up there, Demario Davis always come with some BS. He comes and sits up there and he placates. He don't tell the truth about why the team stinks and why you ain't up in there getting on these guys for dropping passes and all this kind of stuff. You come with the placation talk for you after he checked his bank account to see if his money got deposited. So he was calmed by that. But you get in front of Who Dat Nation, tell us that you don't take a hammer to what's going on with the Saints. You just need a little screwdriver to tweak it. Really? That you won't talk of that right there. Like, man, this is supposed to be your leader, family. This is supposed to be the team captain and the leader of the Saints and one of the more respected players on the Saints team talking like that about you, to you, telling you that, like you too stupid to realize what's going on with the team. That was insulting. To take a hammer, you take a hammer to this team because this team they're a pile of losers. And I'm not saying nothing new. You can look at their record. Say, Q, how you say that? They're 1-7. They're 1-4 in the dome. Ain't they 1-4 in the dome?
1-4.
They're a pile of losers. They don't even take the home environment. They're 1-4, even if they will win the bulk of the games at home. They're 1-7, but 1-4 in the dome. That means these people can't even convert the dome into a winning environment. There are a pile of non-accountable losers that do not let these people sell you on some dream, because they're not dreaming. They're actually living a vision, and the vision is getting paid off of you. That's why I said, man, I'm not giving these people none of my money until they show me that they can step this stuff up. They people sitting there wasted their good Sunday. They could have been outside at the park or something. They could have been at an event or go eating barbecue or whatever they had, something better that you'd have got out of sitting up here watching these people who do not deserve your respect, do not deserve your money, sitting up here playing like that and losing to division rivals. This is a division rival here. They couldn't even muster up the intestinal fortitude to give you a good game. They sit up there and fumbled and stumbled the ball away on drives, and then Kellen Moore takes too long to pull Spencer out. I would have pulled Spencer out of there before halftime. Spencer Rattler wasn't showing. He didn't have any connection. He wasn't happening. It wasn't happening for the man today. It just wasn't happening. So what they do, enter Tyler Shough. And Paul Tyler comes in there. You can see that he wasn't really that excited and pumped for the thing. You know, they kind of put him in there. He was kind of somber. His energy wasn't way up like that, but he got in there. He made some plays. He ran around. And then, but the interesting part, I was like, how does the offense respond in a limited amount of time with Tyler Shough in the game versus Spencer Rattler? What I seen was the play call. I was like, the plays, man, these plays, it's these play calls. Same plays they were running for Spencer Rattler, they threw it in for Tyler Shough. And it's these play where it's the same predictable play. The right wide receiver in cut, the little slant play. I mean, Shough threw it to him. He kind of hit the back of the guy, but it's the same play that we seen Spencer Rattler run at least 4 or 5 times earlier in the game. This is Fire Marshall Bill ass dude who's your offensive coordinator, who's standing up there with Kellen Moore trying to make the call. Fire Marshall Bill. We're gonna talk about play calling. Kellen Moore needs to come up off that play calling. Need to do something else, because this is not gonna count it. This ain't gonna cut it. So in the end, man, it's just a lot of foolishness that's going on, man. That we need to check, man. But anyway, listen, fam. Let me hit these stats for y'all before. But listen, Tyler Shough, man. Another thing before we go into the stats, fam. This is one thing I want just to add on it about Tyler Shough. I think it was totally wrong for Kellen Moore to get up here at the end of this press conference when asked the question about will Tyler Shough get the start next week and all this kind of stuff. And he throws out here, well, we just have to, this type of thing. He has to make a commitment to Tyler Shough for the rest of the season. This is your second round draft pick quarterback. You gave Spencer Rattler an opportunity. Rattler did what he could do based on what he had. It's just what it is. This is what it is, right? In my opinion, I thought he was a little too conservative at times during the season because of the pressure. If he throws too many interceptions, they were going to bench him. But the reality I was saying, like, hey, dude, go out there and live. Because whether you throw the interceptions or not, if you don't get wins, they're going to end up benching you anyway, and you might not have the interception. But if they're not picking up wins, they're going to end up benching you anyway. So it was just not. It wasn't happening. They responded well. So all this love and all this kind of stuff is bullshit, man. If you love somebody, do something for them. That's what you're supposed to do. You catch that ball, make that tackle, that sort of thing. Don't miss me with the love bullshit. But outside of that, with Spencer Rattler needs to, Tyler Shough, it needs to be a commitment to Tyler Shough for the rest of the season. He needs to get all of the reps, and if this is your guy, and remember, that's Mickey Loomis and them said that this is the guy. So Tyler Shough, I want to see him. He looked big in a big quarterback, 6'5", standing tall in the pocket. He threw the ball down the field, overthrew Rashid Shaheed, right? We usually see guys underthrow him. He overthrew him. So they got to get their timing right for as long as Rashid Shaheed is going to be here, right? He might be traded. Chris Olave might be traded. We might be looking at a total different unit, period. But at the end of the day, what I'm saying is this is just a complete mess. And I really don't think that Kellen Moore could fix it unless he gets more aggressive in his approach and checking these players and accountability. You don't make accountable these. You don't make excuses for these players. You got to call these players out. Like, I remember old Jim Moore used to do that. Jim Moore used to call people out. You don't sit up here and play this nice bullshit with these people. And they're in there 1-7, man. Nice is out the door. Nice is out the door. They 1-7 and they losing in the worst ways, and they practice all damn week. Fam, every week they practice. Every week, every damn day, damn near, except for what, Monday and what, Mondays they off after the game. They shouldn't be off. There shouldn't be no off days. I mean, I don't know if it's legal within the contract for them to have after the game, but if it's not physical, their asses need to be studying something. They need to be looking at tape. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, going up into the game, then people practice all week, and this is what they turned out. And Tampa wasn't doing nothing that difficult where they couldn't put up points. They were dropping passes. They were fumbling the ball. They were doing all this asinine stuff. Just ridiculous. Anyway, let's hit the stats, man, and then we'll get our last thoughts, and then I will hear Pop start on what he thinks about Tyler Shough's opportunities going forward. But the family member said it. We're lined up for the first round draft pick. And and you can get happy about that if you want to, but listen, there's still Mickey Lomas running the show. And if you do draft a really good player, who's to say the Saints can develop him into anything? Look what they got. They don't even know what they're doing. The Brandon Cooks thing was so stupid. They're talking about trading Brandon Cooks now. Why is Brandon Cooks here? We asked the question. Why was he here in the first place? Why would you spend money on Brandon Cooks and then they failed and we gonna trade him? I mean, I don't even understand that. Why isn't Jawan Johnson a part of these talks to trade? Why don't we trade his ass? He ain't nothing. He's nothing. He's garbage. And that guy is what he is. He's always going to be a guy that doesn't block well and misses catches that you need him to make. That's what he's going to be forever. That is in his DNA. What you're seeing from this guy, you won't see any better level. He doesn't have a higher level. His level was to level up, get the bag, and then level out. And I level up to the bag. I got the bag. Hasta la vista to you guys. Yeah, it's just ridiculous, man. You know. But anyway, let's hit these stats, man. All right, look, here it is, Pop. 17-14 first down. Saints led that stat at least. The third down conversion, Saints was 8 of 16 on third down. Bucs was 3 of 13. Saints 2 of 4 on fourth down, 1 of 2 for the Bucs. The total plays, Saints had way more plays than the Bucs, 71-56. Yardage was 275, 212, advantage Saints. 11 of 10 on drives, advantage Saints. The Saints averaged 4 yards a play, 3.8 by the Bucs, not too far off. Passing was 227 versus 124, advantage Saints. Rushing attack, Saints had less than 50 yards rushing today. The Buccaneers had 88 yards, so the Saints defense really did a good job of limiting the Bucs rushing attack and holding down Baker Mayfield, right? He was not all that good. He only had 124 yards, so they held him down, and all the Saints needed to do was kind of score a couple of touchdowns. The first 1 to 21 sort of thing. Couldn't do it. 15 attempts, 3.2 yard average on 48 yards rushing. They can't run the ball because the offensive line is garbage. They're 0-1 in the red zone. The Bucs were 1-2. The penalties, Saints had 8 penalties today for 40 yards. 4 for 25 by the Buccaneers. And let me tell you something. The referees had a lot of favorable calls for the Saints in this game. Y'all know what I mean. There was a lot of stuff that happened in this game that I was like, hold on. This game should have been way longer than that. There were a few plays that happened that with the help of the referees that really kind of kept this thing from getting blown out the water. I was like, wow, man, they took that away from them. Oh shit. Then we might get a game, but they could not do anything of worth offensive to be respectable. None at all. And here's the rest of it right here, y'all. This is the time of possession, 32-56 for the Bucs, 27-04 for the Saints. Saints had 4 turnovers in the game, fam. They had 2 fumbles lost, 2 picks in the game. 4 turnover game for the New Orleans Saints. And when that happens, man, you're not going to win. And the worst part about it, you get done in the dome. It's just so awful. Spencer was 15-21 for 136 yards and an interception. He was sacked 3 times. Tyler Shough came in there and was 17 of 30 for 128. He also had a pick. The ball was kind of placed slightly behind Chris Olave. Fam, what y'all think? Now, y'all know football. Who's, I ain't going to say fault, but when, Pops, you seen the ball. When Tyler Shough fired the ball to Chris Olave, it was behind Olave, but it's not a catch that I haven't seen Chris Olave not make. I've seen him make a lot more difficult catches. The ball hit Olave in the hands, right? He fired it in, Chris spun around, and the ball hit Olave in his hands, and it looked like it kind of went through his hands, kind of bobbled in between the hands in the face mask area. The defender got right up on him, grabbed the ball, and just wrestled it away from him as they got to the ground. My opinion is Chris Olave, the ball was thrown. He had to adjust for the catch, but I thought Chris Olave should have caught that football. It shouldn't have been an interception by the defensive back for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That I don't think that to me, that ball should have been caught by Chris Olave. It hit him right in his damn hands. You know, and it went in. He the one, when he threw it to him, he the one, he had the ball and did not secure the ball. It bobbled. The defensive back came and wrestled the ball away from him. Go back and look at it. That's terrible. But anyway, Alvin Kamara popped 6 carries for 21 yards, nothing. Tyler scrambled 3 times for 12, so did Spencer Rattler. Rashid Shaheed was thrown at 12 times. He had 9 catches for 75 yards. Y'all know what happened. Chris Olave was thrown at 12 times, 8 for 63. Jawan was thrown at 8 times, 5 for 53. Alvin Kamara was thrown at twice, 2 for 24. They're just not using them enough in the passing attack. Cooks was thrown at 4 times, 3 for 22, nothing. Devon Valley thrown at 5 times, 1 catch for 10 yards. Taysom Hill is out there. They don't even use Taysom Hill. I think he had 1 run today. Yeah, 2 runs for 6 yards. He had 1 catch off a target for 6 yards. They're not even using Taysom Hill. They don't even know how to use him. Demario Davis finished the game with 11 tackles. Justin Reed had 7. Chase Young had a sack and a half. Justin Reed had 1 sack by Nate Shepard today by the black and gold on defense. Devin Neal and Mason Tipton both was the guys returning the kickoffs for them. Devin Neal had 5 for 106. Tipton had 1 for 36. And Rashid was the returner, 1 for 8. Blake Grupe was 1 for 1. Kai Groger, 3 punts for 121 yards. On the side, like we said, Baker Mayfield was pretty much under control. Saints 15 of 24 for $152. He had no touchdowns, no interceptions, and they kept him from running around on him. So he had no scramble attempts. The Saints did a pretty decent job of limiting what he could do, right? Now, Sean Tucker had 42 rushes off of 42 yards off of 12 rushes and a score. The Saints had a couple of 4th down drives that were respectable. One of them they were able to punch in. And then, of course, the bigger receiver, we're talking about Emeka, who's the top wide receiver, held 3 catches to 35 yards. Tez Johnson had 5 for 43, but no scores. Cade Outen 4 for 40, no scores. So they held the Saints offense really did. I mean, the defense did a good job of really keeping Baker Mayfield suppressed as long as they could keep him suppressed. But the Saints offense just did not do anything to have any impact on this game. So, Pops, as we kind of parallel, what are your thoughts on Tyler Shough leading the way for the rest of the season for the Saints? Will it make much of a difference to the offense?
Well, if he's going to be your number one, he needs more snaps. He needs to be under center more, to get familiar with getting the groove of the game, the swing of the game. He's got to get more snaps. I mean, that's his first set of snaps. Rattler, he basically gave his starting position away because he turns the ball. I mean, when they look at that film and see how he lost that fumble on the second set of, the second set of downs, he fumbled the ball. He was holding the ball out loosely, and he's going into a slide, and the guy just reached under there and knocked the ball out because he wasn't holding it tight. He said, well, if he's going to slide, then you tuck that ball down and lay down on that ball and keep that ball close to you so that your body can't knock it out. He turned the ball over too much. I see a lot of that. He's not where he needs to be right now. So why not give the other young man, Shough, a chance to see what he can do? He's tall and rangy. I think he's taller than Spencer, if I'm not mistaken. So he should be able to see the defense better than Spencer by being 6'5", I think he is, right? So he could see the ball better. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking that if I were Kellen, I think I would give him a shot. Because let Spencer earn that position back, because he turned the ball over too much. These turnovers have got to stop. They done sunk our season. Regardless of how many we win, we're not gonna make the playoff. That's done. So we need to get that guy, get Tyler in there, learn so he can learn the ropes and see what he can do. You know what I'm saying? Got to put him in there. See what he can do. Give him an opportunity. But we need better offensive plays and need plays suited to his talents. What he do best. That's what he got to do. That's how Breeze excelled so many years. They had a plan. They had offensive plays designed to help him for him to work with, and like he was excellent at that short passing game. And they did a lot of running. He had good running backs. He had when Kamara was at his prime, Kamara was an outstanding back. Right now he's old. He's not really putting himself out there. I noticed that on a lot of plays he don't run with authority like he used to run. He used to run over people. He don't do that no more. I don't see him doing that no more. So the only other thing, like I said, we pretty much the season is done. We just need to put Tyler Shough out there and see what he can do, and give him some snaps to see what he can do. I mean, Spencer done had his chance. He had 7 games to see what he can do, and he turned the ball over. So, I mean, how many turnovers we've gotten in them 7 games that the ball been turned over? At least twice to 3 times a game, he turns that ball over. Underthrow, and I noticed a lot of his plays are underthrown to the receiver. So that's calling for an interception. You have to be able to. You have to lead your receiver when you're playing quarterback. You got to lead him. Get that ball out. It's really an art that you have to learn how to do as a quarterback to make sure that receiver gets that ball. And I hate to say it, but Rattler haven't been doing that. He's been hurting the team by those turnovers. You turn over the ball in the second series of plays by trying to scramble. I understand he was scrambling, but you got to tuck the ball away. They're going to try to punch the ball out. That's exactly what happened to him.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's true, Pops. And it's we've seen the end of Spencer Rattler. It's the Tyler Shough show right now. So at 1-7, just to remind the family members, no NFL team has ever made the playoffs starting out at a 1-7 mark. So just to let y'all guys know that, I had to look that up while Pops was breaking it down. And according to the NFL records, there are no NFL team ever recovered from a 1-7 start to make the playoffs. So they're not mathematically eliminated, right? But as far as I'm concerned, they're mathematically eliminated because they do not have the winning spirit needed to climb out of the hole. These are losers. These are zombies on a sinking ship. These are zombies on a sinking ship. Yeah. They have no get up and go. They got a coach that is completely blind to what's really ailing the team. And unless he can keep it real about the tape, which I doubt he will, he'll still roll out guys like Cesar Ruiz, who's not going to get any better than what he is. Trevor Penning, who's not going to get any better. These guys have already plateaued, in my opinion. Trevor Penning still is blocking way up too high, even though he's not supposed to be doing that. That is written into him genetically now, where you would have to take a hellspawn coach to really tear him down and build him up again. And that's not going to happen here. It's the same thing with Cesar Ruiz. It's the same thing about Mickey Loomis over the top of the team, not holding anybody accountable, not a real general manager, more VP than general manager, suffocating the organization by not allowing fresh personnel to rise in its ranks. They bring in a newer vision and an owner who doesn't know anything about football or basketball. She keeps trusting the wrong people. She'll get prodded and excited to make a move, but then end up going back to the guy that caused the problem in the first place. It was this idiot who hired Dennis Allen, and now you give him the team back in his hands to fix it. He didn't think he made a problem. That's his thing. He didn't think Dennis Allen should have been fired. But she lets this guy keeps running the team. That's the problem. So in the end, we have a lot of problems. It's systemic. This team is void of accountability. You have a bunch of losers on this team that even the so-called captains don't want to get on these guys and, fuss and do whatever. You need to wake these guys up. You need to wake these guys up. You need to wake them up because for people that really want to win, fam, I have heard, I usually, if you're a good team and you've been losing games and you want to fix stuff, You need a wake-up call. There's usually something called a players-only meeting that they usually supposed to do. The Saints didn't call it at 1-2. They didn't call it at 1-3. They didn't call it at 1-4. They didn't call it at 1-5. They didn't call it at 1-6. And not yet 1-7. You see what I'm saying? These are losers. They don't see any problem or anything wrong with it. And if you call them out, something's wrong with you. You got to have faith and just believe everything they say. We're not believing nothing that you say because you don't deserve that. You haven't earned that. Mickey Loomis is not a leader. He's an idiot and a moron and a charlatan. You look at what's happening with this team. This is a creation of him. You have to be able to put pressure on these young coaches to get it right. As long as there's no pressure, then Doug Nussmeier can keep doing what he's been doing, which is calling these vanilla, stupid, dumb plays. And not taking advantage of the defense, running into stack box, as opposed to audibling out and doing something different, teaching your quarterback this, that, and the third, and where to look at when the blitz come. If they're committing all these players coming, that means there's one-on-one matchups that's out there that you need to take advantage of. Studying the tape properly, pulling players that do not deserve to start out and putting the guys that are ready to start, the Torricelli Simpkins. Those type of guys. We need those type of players in there to help us out. So even in family, and I'm not trying to disparage y'all, because you got to hold on to something, right? The family members like, damn, Q, we got to hold on to something, right? Yeah, well, hold on to the truth. How about that? Let's grab a hold to the truth. Then what's the truth? The truth is what I just said it is. The Saints are a buffoonish, stupid, losing team. They're a pile of losers who don't want to get it right, and they're going to ride this loser wave till the end of the season, and they're going to collect their checks and go into the end of the year, and that's how they're going to do it. And even if they do manage to get a top pick in the draft, you think they're going to do the right thing with it? You think they're going to develop the talent that's needed to win? They can't. If you don't have accountability, you don't have anything. I'm just being honest. If you don't have accountability, you don't have anything. You can't. These guys have to have some type of discipline imposed on them when they do stuff. When Divine Godchaux did that play where the Saints stopped him and he had that stupid penalty that gave the Tampa Bay Buccaneers that first down, he should have been pulled out of the game. What happened? He was in that as the same play. Where's the accountability in that? When Chris Olave dropped that pass, when he dropped that ball into the hands of that guy, it's just all this kind of stuff. When Rashid Shaheed dropped that pass, he dropped a couple of passes. When he fumbled the pass, he should have been pulled out. He shouldn't have got an opportunity to play right away. Now we're gonna chill on you right now. Anytime you hurt the team, there got to be some discipline for that. You can't roll these dogs back out there after they hurt the team. There's no you have to have some type of discipline in line for people that hurt the football team and cost you opportunities to win. You can't let them go and walk and pat them. You can pat them on their back after you give them the discipline and let them learn that way. You take players, you deprive players the right to play in games when they hurt the team. This is not what we're seeing here. So I question the overall intelligence in terms of the Saints of what they're building here, because without accountability, they don't have nothing. You can't be accountable and explain to me why Cesar Ruiz is still starting at that right guard position. You can't when Torricelli Simpkins is a better guard than he is. You can't. You can't explain to me why that offensive line can't block or move the pile or dominate the line of scrimmage. You can't explain to me that. And they're watching that tape every week and practicing every week and seeing these guys do the same thing they're doing in these games and then pretending like they're not doing it. We just got to clean it up. What you mean clean it up? If you heard a guy says clean, a guy that's like me. I watched the video where Umar Johnson cleaned his bathroom toilets in the FGMB, his school. He was cleaning out of the toilet. He was cleaning the toilet. Y'all probably seen this. Crazy. Somebody said I seen the video. That's like him cleaning the toilets with the dirt, with the shit water out of the toilets, rubbing it, not knowing what he doing. You see what I'm saying? But this is a guy that know a lot of stuff, but he don't know how to clean the toilet. That's what I'm looking at with Kellen Moore. I'm like, dude, you know all this stuff, but you don't know how to get these guys lined up with accountability and make them pay when stuff happens. It's just crazy talk. Like, I don't get that, man. And until you show me you can do that, I promise you guys, you're not going to see the kind of team you want to see, because there is no, like Coach Payton. Coach Payton's going in the Hall of Fame. But what makes Coach, and I hate to kind of, I'm not going to compare the two. I'm just making a call about what we're seeing in Denver. It took him 2 years to get Denver turned around. You know why? Because he came in there with accountability. He came in there with and had them guys walking on eggshells. That's what you have to do. You have to have a little, you know what, in you to be able to get these players. You can't be totally cool with these players because they're gonna just step on you. They're not gonna always do what they're supposed to do. You know, you gotta hit them with the power of God. Sometimes you really do. You do.
Yep.
You got to operate. Now, Tony Dungy, Pops, he didn't operate like that because he was a soft-spoken man. But Tony Dungy would pull you out of the game if you wasn't making plays. He wouldn't let you do that. You know, he wouldn't let you hurt the team. So in the end, that's what I see from these people, Pops. I think it's a raw and a shame. I don't know if the Saints will win another game for the rest of the season. I really don't. I don't think they have the ability to be able to fix what's going on with this offense consistently. Might sneak out a win or two here or there. But I don't expect them to win anything because they obviously don't know what they're doing. For them to keep this guy, get his ass up to the podium after every game and say the same thing over and over again, that they got to clean it up. Fam, if he's saying that guy don't know what he's doing, man. He don't know what he's doing. That's like Willie Green get to the podium after a loss to say the same stuff. The man don't know what he's doing, bro. He don't know what he's doing. He over his head. And he don't have the proper staff around him to fix it. Nussmeier is not going to cut it. He's too vanilla and too blind to what's going on. He's not good. You're going to have to fire some of these guys around you and hire some new. You need to innovate. So, I mean, will he do that? I doubt that, man. I really doubt it. They're going to have to show me, man. But we're in for some tough times in the Who Dat Nation, fam. We're in for some tough times. And we still got games with the Rams and Pops. We ain't played the Falcons yet. You know, that's going to be a game. If the Falcons come in there and beat the Saints, they're going to be and listen, I don't, Pops, if the Falcons beat the Saints twice this year and sweep the Saints, does Kellen Moore, well, he's going to survive firing because at the end of the day, Mickey Loomis is not going to fire him. But the Who Dat Nation is going to really buck on Kellen Moore if they don't beat the Falcons, if they let the Falcons sweep them twice this year on this, you know, it's just not going to be good. It's just not going to be good. But Pops, what's your final thoughts before we get on out?
I agree with everything you said, son, but particularly in the situation that he's an old player. They like an old hound dog. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. You know, they stuck in there. I can open my account up and see my check in there after the game. They don't have the fire. The defense played much better than I've seen them play, but they got worn down after a while because the offense can't do anything with the ball. And every team that played the Saints is going to realize that, and they're going to put pressure on Rattler or whoever, unless they make a change. Now is the time to make the change. Go to Tyler. Give Tyler a chance. Let him learn the offense and give him a chance. The other kid done had his opportunity. He turned the ball over too much. In the last 3 games, I think he turned the ball over about 12 times, maybe or more. That's too many times. You're not going to win turning the ball over that many. On the second set of series he played today, he had a turnover. Had the ball knocked out of his hand. You know, he's not using his brain to play the game like a true quarterback. If you're going to run, tuck the ball. You know, if you know you're about to get sacked, tuck that ball, take the sack. Don't worry about getting sacked. Just take the sack. And he's not making good decisions. He's just not. He can't get the ball out to the wide receiver. So the teams are playing they playing on top of the Saints defense offense. They playing in the field. So all they got to do is dump off whatever the defense gives them. They dump the ball off. They never go over the top. They never try to go over the top. So. Yeah, I'd be willing to just go with Tyler because they drafted him. Let's see what he can do.
Yeah, and I hear what the family members saying. Say, Q, yeah, they tanking, man. Listen, bro, let me tell you something, man. Explain to me a team that's tanking for picks and trading the picks that they got for players. Explain that to me. How is the Saints who want picks but trading picks away from personnel? They traded picks earlier this year to land people to bring onto the team. They traded picks for to get people onto the team. They got it for Divine Valley. They traded picks to get Polk, what's his name, Jalen Polk from the Patriots to bring onto the team. They trading all of these players. They traded picks away to get them, and all of a sudden now we tanking for picks. Man, listen, man. Let me tell y'all something, man. They had a tank philosophy, but this team is just not any good, man. Because if it were tanking, wouldn't that factor in on the defensive? Why the defense playing their ass off today? And the people can't even make catches or nothing. They're not tanking. Man, come on, man. Come on. This is just a bad team, bro. It's just a bad team. And like I said, I don't think they have no philosophy. I don't think they have any philosophy. You know why? Because Mickey Loomis is running the team, man. He too stupid to tank for picks. He's too stupid. They were trading picks away this season. It was supposed to be a tanky year. Then why were they trading all these picks for players away early on? And all of a sudden, now we're going to pivot to tanking? Man, man, you watch the football. These people are just not any good. They're not prepared. They're not going out there and just, oh, yeah, we're going to just tank for some people that we're not going to develop. Man, come on, man. I'm not buying the tanking nonsense, man. I know bad football when I see it, bro. And it's not because they're that bad where they say, oh, we're going to just drop this fucking football right here, because we're going to try to pick up the first round pick. Nah, man, no. I'm not buying it, bro. I'm sorry. You may buy it because that's what other teams do that have sense, but don't put the Saints and teams that have sense in the same box, man. Come on. The Saints leadership are stupid. They don't have the common sense to tank for picks. I mean, it's just, I'm not buying that philosophy. I'm sorry, I'm not. Mickey Loomis is an idiot and a moron. They were trading the picks. They traded a pick for a player that can't even help him this year. The guy was hurt, man. The guy was hurt. They traded a pick for Jalen Polk, and the guy was like, hold on, this guy's on the IR list. We ain't gonna get this guy the next year. They was trading the picks for a player that was already hurt. They traded a pick for Divine Valley and didn't even play Divine Valley. He's still not starting. We're in 8 weeks in, they gave up picks for him. So like I said, there is no plan. There is no plan because Mickey Loomis is too stupid to come up with a plan. He's too stupid to come up with a plan. Oh, line out, goddamn it, Q. Oh, line out. Line out. Call me stupid. Yeah, you're stupid. You're an idiot. You're a moron. A simpleton. They don't have that. Y'all have the right spirit in what y'all saying, but the wrong team. This team is ran by an idiot, man. This man don't know what he's doing. They don't have a philosophy. He started off the year saying they wanted to win, and then this week saying we don't have the players to win. That's bullshit. Yeah, they got the players to win. If you do what you're supposed to do. Hold on, fam, let me ask y'all something. How is it that Chris Olave wants an extension with the New Orleans Saints, but he's dropping all these touchdown passes? You going to give it to him? You going to give it to him? You got 40-plus catches. A lot of them were basically catches within the last that they're throwing on crossing routes that's 4 and 5 to 6 yards out. Not a lot of catches that's 10 yards or more that you're hitting on him. The majority of his catches were within the 10-yard parameter. You going to cut him a check? The pass that he could have dropped into the hands of the defensive back was usually one that he catches. That's a Chris Olave. That's a Chris Olave. Y'all paying Chris Olave? Huh? Would y'all have paid Jawan Johnson? Would you have paid Chase Young? I'm saying all of this. See, I'm throwing this out to you because the picks are not the solution. You got to look at the guy that's making the call. The guy doesn't have a plan. If it was all about the picks, then you would not have traded picks for players that can't help you today. You see what I'm saying? Or there would have been a pressure on you. Okay, if they represent capital, then Divine Valley should have been playing over Brandon Cooks. How was Cooks in the lineup and three wide receiver lineups when Divine Valley was healthy? You gave up picks for him, and now all of a sudden you won't trade Cooks, who shouldn't have been here? They don't have a plan. They don't have a plan. So listen, y'all are right with what you're saying about, tanking for picks, all that. Smart teams that know they can't do no better, they might manipulate that strategy. But you're not talking about a smart team. You're not talking about a smart team here. This team does not have a plan. They don't have a plan, fam. They don't have a plan. And for the family member said about Simpkins, dog, stop living on PFF, man. Stop. Get your head out of the PFF stuff and put it in the film. Torricelli Simpkins, I don't care what no PFF saying, man. Come on. PFF, like they the word on some shit. PFF gives shit wrong all the time. Their ratings ain't all accurate, bro. They're not the word of God. You need to pay attention to your eyes. And you look at what Cesar Ruiz is. Cesar Ruiz is topped out. He's not going to get any better than what he is. And listen, I ain't languishing you. I'm just letting you know, man. Stop charting that like that's something, bro. That PFF shit ain't all that, man. They get stuff wrong all the time. It's not a sure metric that everybody say, oh, hey, man, PFF, oh, shit, I got the bad. Well, you're right. The PFF said it's come from the mouth of God. No, it doesn't. PFF don't know what they be talking about, dog. I watch the film and I see who has a better upside. Simpkins has a better upside than Cesar Ruiz. Cesar is not getting any better. He's actually losing. His game is getting worse and worse and worse. He's not consistent at anything that he does. He's terribly inconsistent. He should not be starting. I'm just being real with you, bro. You might not know that about this PFF stuff. People like to tell you because a lot of these networks that you watch, they be shouting out that PFF shit because they get a cut of them profits. But PFF don't mean shit to me, dog. I watch the film and I see what they do. Watch the film. Come up out of the PFF thing and put the film on Ruiz and watch Torricelli Simpkins. The majority of the Who Dat Nation would pick Torricelli Simpkins over Cesar Ruiz any day. Because they know that even though he makes mistakes, he has the ability to get better. Cesar does not. He is not getting any better. He doesn't challenge himself. He should have been the best offensive lineman on this team 2 years ago. He's not getting any better. He is not. So anyway, Pop's last thoughts. I give it to you before we leave, bro.
Well, we just gotta. We're gonna be playing, but watching the Rams. The Rams gonna be doing their thing. So I think that. If I don't know if they're gonna start Tyler, but I would start him over Rattler because simply I would have started him a couple of games ago over Rattler because he turned, especially after that Chicago game, he shouldn't have started. So hopefully they'll get some. They'll start learning something. I mean, they're playing just for pride basically right now. So all I can do is just hope maybe that they'll get better. Some of them coaches need to go. Like I never heard of this Nussmeier guy, except for his son played for LSU.
Need a coordinator, Pops.
And
I know
he's the coordinator. I know, but I'm just saying his son plays for LSU, and he
ain't doing shit there either. They both ain't doing nothing, Pop.
They ain't doing nothing. I tell you what, man, we got gonna have to get better. We got to get better. They're gonna have to tighten up. Mr. Nice Guy gonna have to get tough on these guys like Jim Mora, a military, and Jim Mora said,
"Stop it, Jay."
He would holler at him, block somebody. I remember those words, and he was talking to this sorry offensive line. He was telling them to block somebody. He blew them out. He didn't let them come on that sideline. He was in their ear when they messed up. You don't have that, Mr. Nice Guy. You don't have that no more. You can't win with a Mr. Nice Guy. These guys are NFL players, man. They've been around for so many years, but they've been around for so many years. They know how to make just enough plays to keep the paycheck coming. Yep.
Yeah, I know. I see it. I agree, Pops. We'll see how it goes, man. You know that old saying about nice guys finishing last, and Saints look like they're gonna finish last in the NFL. So that trend holds and continues. All right, cut it out, Jay. Jay, cut it out, bro. Jay says, yeah, there is a plan. The Saints, the team on the bill. Hey, bro, listen, I'm not going to disparage you, bro. Hold on to your hope, bro. Hold on to the hope and remind me later, bro. Say, Q, I told you we was a team on the bill. We'll see, bro. We'll see. I know Chase says Brian Kelly got fired. I know, bro. We talked about that today. I'll be doing a stream on that. Matter of fact, on Tough Tiger Talk coming up soon. So if we got a lot of LSU heads in the building, y'all can feel free to subscribe to Tough Tiger Talk. I think the link's in the description section. If not, you can just put it in YouTube. Tough Tiger Talk is one of several channels that's of a family of YouTube channels on the PRO Media Network as well. All right, Marky D says, I hear you about the upside. I understand. Yeah, it's the thing is, I'm not saying that it can't be done, but there is a recipe. Y'all know that. It's a recipe for turning things around. And if you don't have the recipe, it's not going to work, But I'm just saying, don't let them get your hopes up too high until they prove to you. And I ain't 1 or 2 games. I'm talking about over at least a half a season that they're serious and they're committed to winning. Not just them giving you the lip service, but them actually taking the moves and turning them into success. Like you make a move in the offseason, but translate the move into success when the season starts, when the games actually start mattering and counting, turning it into something, right? That's 2 halves make a whole. So that's what I'm saying. This is what we're saying. So I'm just cautioning you guys to not get too, don't get your hopes up too high with what's going on now with the Saints. Just, be as measured as you can, man, because at the end of the day, I see a lot of stuff and I don't know, man. I'm not cut it out. JJ said roll tide, bro. Come on, brother. All right. Yeah. Come on, Jay. And you know what? He right. The tide gonna roll tide all over LSU's face in 2 weeks, bro. I'm not gonna bet LSU. I don't know. They got a new coach, and they just don't have it, man. It's just, I don't know, man. We just going through it. All right. So anyway, with that being said, man, listen, I'm gonna get out on that, man. Listen, we're gonna be at Tough Tiger Talk in about 30 minutes, man. We're gonna go over that, a quick little recap stream of Coach Kelly getting terminated. LSU terminated Brian Kelly. We'll be talking about it on Tough Tiger Talk on that channel. But anyway, as far as Sports Coma is concerned, y'all do me a service. Hit the like button. I don't know about Nick Saban, fam. Y'all asked me about that over that. Nick Saban, I think he's cooked. I think it's over with him and Deion Sanders doing insurance commercials with a duck or a goose or whatever the hell it is. I think it's over with. I think it's over with. He over there with the damn duck with a blue jacket on, black. He over there with the
duck supposed to be black now. Where did he get that from? A duck? I've seen that duck been on that too.
Deion Sanders over there, him and Nick Saban doing the insurance commercials. That usually say you're getting close to the end or something.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, with that being said, man, I'm gonna get on the potty. I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all do me a service. Y'all please hit that like button, man. I know it's not the outcome that we was hoping for today, but in the end, at least we got each other. At least the mighty Who Dat Nation is going to stick together, thick and thin, win or loss or tie. We're going to represent the mighty Who Dat Nation. We're going to keep on the truth. Thank you. I appreciate you. Marky D, much love to you, my friend. Big ups to all of y'all, man. Appreciate y'all being in the stream. If you're listening via X or anywhere else, X, give me a retweet, man, on the Sports Coma, man. Listen. We talking real deal spiel about the New Orleans Saints and what we need to do to get this stuff on the right side. Rams up next, man. But I'm going to holler at y'all on the next one, Pops. Much love to you, my brother. I'm going to talk to you later. And y'all, much love. I'll be back on Monday stream. We'll talk more. Much love. Peace. Who Dat? I'm out.
Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a Who Dat. I'm a Who Dat. Long as I'm living, I'm a Who Dat. Lose or winning, I'm a Who Dat. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a Who Dat. I'm a Who Dat. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on Tampa, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, then you probably smell the crooked referees on Roger Goodell. Yeah, probably like this, and I'm a Who Dat. Every day I'm living, I'm a Who Dat. Lose or winning, I'm a Who Dat. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this, and I'm a Who Dat. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Who that say they gon' beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gon' beat them Saints? Who that? Who that?
Whether you're catching up on Saints news at Jackson Square, checking Pelicans scores in the Garden District, or staying updated on LSU while grabbing coffee in the French Quarter, there's one place that keeps you connected to everything that matters in our city. From Bourbon Street to the Superdome, from Preservation Hall to the riverfront, New Orleanians are staying in the know with the WhoDatDaily.com, your daily source for Saints, Pelicans, LSU, and all the sports, music, and culture that makes our city special. At work downtown, at a game in the Dome, or just relaxing by the Mississippi, wherever life takes you in the Big Easy, you can stay connected. Because when you're from New Orleans, you don't just live here. You stay in the NO. That's stay in the know. Visit the WhoDatDaily.com and never miss what matters most to Who Dat Nation. Stay in the NO, you stay in the know.
Welcome to the Pro Shop, where we create authentic NOLA-inspired clothing for men, women, and children. From Saints jerseys to Pelicans gear, everything's crafted right here in New Orleans. Whether you're shopping the Pro Shop, the Pel Shop, or the Pro Shop Kids, we've got your whole family covered with genuine merchandise that represents our city's spirit. Check for links in the description section below.